Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome back to
SpectrumMamis.
And we're here, lounging a little bit again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, haciéndonos las relajadas.
Haciéndolo.
Haciéndonos las relajadas.
Yes.
You know. So how you doing?
I'm good.
How's it going?
Pretty good.
Good. I'm glad. How is everyone? Hopefully you had a great weekend.
Yep.
And a great week so far. And let's dive in on something that it has gotten a lot of views. Our guardianship video.
Mm-hmm.
It has gotten a lot of views. And it's something that a lot of people didn't know or may know, but didn't know the certain details. So it's a good video to watch.
I feel like whoever's watching the beginning of this is probably like, oh my God, are they going to really talk about guardianship again? Because we've talked about guardianship in between, like when we're talking about something else, we've talked about guardianship.
Sí, but this is something that we need to revisit, no?
Right. No, and we're gonna always mention guardianship, but then we had the amazing episode where we were with
Carlos
Aguila, and then also we had our own guardianship one, but this one's actually, stay tuned. It's really not just guardianship. It's really more.
Yes. These are
what to expect.
I guess what to expect. So we kind of are gonna title it the 8 things you didn't know or you may not know about guardianship.
Right.
So that's what we're gonna try to talk about.
If you have a kiddo that is approaching that time and you are asking yourself questions that may not have been addressed when we've talked about this before, you will most likely get the answer today, because these are things that it's more like from I don't want to say a user. It's not a user. It's from my perspective.
Right, because she already went through it. I am about to go through it. So
right. So it's things that I didn't know and things that I sort of knew, but didn't know too much about.
Exactly.
And listen, I feel that with this experience for me has been where I just think I'm going to continue to learn things that I didn't know
along the way. Yeah.
I have another appointment with the paralegal that works for the attorney that did my guardianship. We had an appointment on Saturday and we couldn't finish, and so we're gonna have another one in the next coming days. And I feel like I'm almost expecting to find out more crap I didn't know. So,
but for now,
we do know that I've
8 things you may not know
come across. Yes.
We might do another 8 things.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, we might have to do a part 2 as things keep coming up.
Exactly.
But I will say that as we are always saying how important, and we've used examples of why guardianship is so important, and the attorney Carlos Aguila also gave so much information. I don't want to scare anybody, because we still 100% believe that guardianship is the way to go and that we need to have these things in place.
Yeah.
But this has been a very stressful process even for me. That's not I'm not trying to do anything that is not right or anything like that.
Right.
But I've spoken to people lately who have gone through adoptions, who I talked a little bit about this, and now this is my child that I birthed and that I've been with from the moment the strip turned pink, okay? I've talked to people that have gone through actual adoptions that are telling me that their process was nothing nearly as difficult as the guardianship for my own child. Adoption is a beautiful thing, and I 100% support it. And I don't believe that in some cases this should be as hard as it is, but the guardianship for me has been no joke.
But shouldn't it be the other way around?
100%. I think that again, that's why I want to say that adoption is beautiful, and I think I wanted to kind of put that out there, because It's not that I'm not for it, or that parents need to be like. I think the parents that have to go the adoption route have already probably been through enough, because for whatever reason they couldn't have a child maybe, and they were able to adopt. But at the same time, it is insane to me that we are put more under the microscope and are subject to more scrutiny for wanting to be the guardian of our children that are disabled, that have a disability.
Yeah.
And that are going to need lifelong care. Like, it doesn't, that to me is amazing. And then I also look at like all the hoops and stuff and everything that I'm still learning about guardianship. And, we're like right in the middle of this process. I'm also kind of like, it always takes me back to the whole Britney Spears thing. And we talked about this the other day about how she was under this conservatorship. I'm still trying to figure out, because from what I hear, conservatorship, and if anybody knows the answer to this, you're welcome to answer.
Right.
To answer this for me. I've heard conservatorship is pretty much the same as guardianship. You're under the care, I guess, and the guardianship of this, whoever your guardian is.
Right.
I don't know if, she has a lot of money. And so I think that a lot of it goes, that might be what changes it a little bit. But I always find that, how is it so difficult for kiddos like mine, for kiddos like mine, for us to go through what we've been through, to get guardianship and to jump out these hoops, yet she was stuck in one for 10 years and her parents, I don't understand. It's so weird to me.
Kind of weird, yeah.
I don't know.
We will have to look into what's
what's the difference, but if she was stuck in this guardianship and couldn't get out of it and wanted out, and it always is weird to me how she was still working and singing and earning money, but she couldn't make decisions for herself. That always was a little strange to me.
Yeah.
You're able to put on all these shows, and she had a Vegas residency and all this other stuff, but her dad had to make every single decision regarding her life. That seemed a little weird to me, which that's why I was glad to see that it was over. But I see like us be put through all of this, through the ringer, basically, to be the guardian of our own children. How is it so difficult for us, yet Britney Spears' dad was able to maintain her guardianship for that long? I don't know. Maybe there's some differences. Maybe,
who knows?
Maybe it's one of those things, like I told you the other day, like somebody's murdered when they're poor, but when you're rich or you're powerful, you're assassinated.
Pretty much.
Right? It's the same thing.
It's
and only
I think you're in the right path.
Like, I wonder how
money.
Yeah.
God knows.
Like, is it? I don't know. Does the term change, or
yeah?
It's another one that I mentioned to you, I think the other day, was that the term of the baby bump that I can't stand. Like, when you see a regular person, oh yeah, she's pregnant. But the celebrities have a baby bump. They're not just pregnant. They're whatever.
A baby bump.
But anyway. Alrighty. So we're gonna go into
just dive in.
Yeah.
So these are the things. 8 things you may not know about the process of guardianship.
Yep.
So number 1. And I don't have my glasses, but I wrote it really big. So
and in red.
Para que no me pierda.
Yeah.
Okay. So 8 things. Number 1, submit a credit report.
Yes. So this one I did not know. This one, when you do the very lengthy application and you have to submit tons of paperwork. One of the things, and the application is pretty lengthy. I want to say it's like 4 or 5 pages. One of the things that they ask you for is a credit report for each person applying for guardianship. This is not Credit Karma. It has to be from the official.
No Credit Karma.
No Credit Karma. No Credit Sesame. None of that. It has to be. I had to actually sign up for My FICO, where there's a monthly fee. And because that one allows you to print your real FICO credit score and report. Oh yeah, they wanted scores and reports for all 3 credit bureaus for all people applying for guardianship. Okay. So it would be for the for yourself if you're the guardian, and if you have a co-guardian. So like a lot of times it'll be spouse or another family member. So yes, that is for everyone trying to get guardianship.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that they ask you in the initial.
Yes. So that I sent that to the attorney. I had to upload that into the portal where I was submitting documentation to the attorney as part of the packet. It's one of these things where I'm like, well, you know, I don't have a perfect credit score. I don't have a perfect credit report. And yes, we've come a really long way. But, you know, right away when you're asking me this kind of freaked me out. Like, is this a problem? From what I was told, they just want to see how you are with money, because if you can't handle your own, then you probably can't handle being the guardian of somebody. Which, again, it's one of those things that...
It kind of makes sense,
I mean, I get it.
But
I do. I get it. But this is your child. So I just feel like a lot...
But.
Yeah. So I think like a lot of these... I think that if let's say that whenever I pass, let's say that somebody who's not the parent has to step in and be the guardian, I can understand why you want for the guardian to be someone who's gone through all these things, because they're not the actual parent. But when the parent basically lives for this child, it's just crazy to me to believe, to think that.
Yeah, we're not somebody that just walked in and say, I'm a family member, I'm taking over. No.
Right.
Or I'm a friend of a family, of the family, I'm taking over.
Right.
Then that's a different story. But when you're the mom, the dad,
yeah.
Hello.
And another thing that concerns me too is that if you ask a family member to be co-guardian, in the event that something ever happens to you, I also feel like these people, the co-guardians, also have to go through all these things and jump all these hoops. So I just feel like they're already doing you a huge favor, I guess. Or it's not that your child is a burden, because they absolutely are not. But this is a big deal to be someone's guardian.
Yes.
And so not only are you stepping up to fill my shoes when I'm gone, or if I'm not able to, but then you're also going to have to jump through all these hoops and take time off work. And well, we'll go into that after. But
so that was number 1.
Yep.
Number 2.
Yes.
Background checks before and yearly. So
yes.
Let's see.
So then the background checks are very specific. They are actually ordered by the court, and anybody who is applying for guardianship must have this background check in their system. I've already had several level 2 screenings, but I still had to do that one, even though it's the same screening, because I've had it done for Medicaid to be able to work with Medicaid clients as an RPT. I've also had it done because I needed it for my son, because I'm his another provider, because we are his provider with his waiver. And so it doesn't matter how many you've had, you still have to have this one done. I don't know, I'm sure every state is different, but in Florida and Broward County, I believe it cost about $90 something, and each person who was applying for guardianship had to do that and submit it to the court. Well, the court actually is able to retrieve them, I believe, is how it was. Yeah.
Number 3. Fingerprints.
Yes. So the fingerprints go with, so number 3 and number 2 go together somewhat. Because once you do the background check, at the same time when they run the background check, the place where you go to get this done, they also do the fingerprints. The fingerprints do last 5 years. So from my understanding, from what I was told, I don't have to repeat them again for 5 years, but I will be expected to do so every 5 years. However, back to number 2, the background screening can really be done at random at any point, but it also has to be done yearly before you submit your yearly report, which is another thing we're going to go into as well.
All right. So, number 4. Report all financials.
So if the person that you are trying to become guardian of has any financial either liabilities or income, that has to be reported. And there is a very lengthy application where all this information must be on, like forms. I believe the forms are over 20 pages. And these include savings account, checking accounts, trust, anything to do with money or anything to do with any property. I mean, it's very, very specific. In our case, we don't have any of that. My son's only income, of course, he lives with us and we support him. His only income after being 18 now is his Social Security disability income. But even that, we need to keep meticulous records of, because that needs to be submitted in an annual report that we'll get into as well. But you can have the court can also have random questions at any time, which
All right. So then number 5, yearly renew.
Yes. So the yearly renewal, this is something that I found out in the very early stages of when we were looking into getting guardianship. You do need to renew the guardianship and submit a load of documentation, including the updated background check and financials. The fee, so I believe you can do this yourself if you're savvy. I probably will not be doing that myself. Maybe I will eventually, but because it would be my first time in December of this year that I would have to do it, I won't be doing it myself. Usually, from what my attorney told me, she would be there to assist, but most likely it would be done with the help of her paralegal. And the fees are nothing like what they are in the beginning. We all know that these fees in the very beginning, when you first get guardianship, they are pretty expensive, but it's a lot lower. And this is only a yearly thing. From what I've heard, they can run around $500. But what they expect is, besides paperwork and like a renewal, I guess, application, they do expect to see records of financials, possible like doctor's visits and that sort of stuff.
Okay. So number 6.
Yes.
Yearly trainings.
So this one I just found out about. I did not know about this one. Yearly trainings. Apparently, you need to sign up for.
You need to be trained on how to.
You have to be trained on how to be your kid's parent, though you've been doing it, successfully for 18 years. I believe, that kind of caught me off guard, and I was like, what? I don't think it's necessarily on being your kid's parent. I think it's on being your kid's guardian, which, but I think it's more like guardianship training on, and I believe, I don't know, I'll find out about this soon. I think it's 8 hours, and that is appointed by the court. Like, it has to be in a court program, and it's very specific. It has to be the program that they say, and you have to register for that.
8 hours a year?
A year. I believe it's 8 hours a year.
Each year?
Yes. I believe it's 8 hours a year. But at some point, because I know we're going to talk about this again, remember, we just got guardianship, but right now we're still doing some stuff that, stuff that we need to do at the very beginning of the guardianship. Our guardianship became official just very recent. So before that, we had an emergency temporary guardianship from the time that my son turned 18 until now. So we will probably do a follow-up video for this as I keep finding out things, but that's one of the big ones. All right. That I did not know.
So number 7, any arrest or past felony. What happens?
Yes. So let's say that, and I've actually known people that have been through this. Let's say you had an arrest or any felony, anything that could have happened. It could have been 30, 40, 20 years ago. It doesn't matter when it happened. If it happened, there is a huge chance that you will not be eligible to be your child's guardian or anybody's guardian. I have seen cases that have been denied, and actually, I'm speaking to my attorney. She comes across them every so often. It doesn't matter what of an amazing guardian you are, what of an amazing parent you are. If there is something on your record, any previous arrest,
and that goes for the parent,
right? Or
but
anybody.
like, let's say if you wanna, I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
and instead of Thomas,
right,
being your co-guardian, una prima.
Yeah, anybody.
So whoever is guardian and co-guardian,
yes, cannot have a criminal record of any sort.
any arrest,
any felonies. I thought that was, I found it really interesting because it's I've seen people commit mistakes, and I've seen people commit a mistake 20, 30 years ago and become amazing citizens, and it's never happened again.
Right.
And I've actually
yeah, but if you did something, let's say, you did something in your 20s.
Right. And it's very sad that, like, let's say you're, I don't know, in your 40s, 50, and now it's time for you to be, for you to do your child's guardianship, and there was anything on your record from your early 20s. How does that reflect on the type of person that you are today, and on the, if...
No, but you've been the child's parent.
You've been...
For 18 years.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
So you have taken care of your child for 18 years.
Exactly.
So I understand a big felony, maybe.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
All that stuff, but any arrest.
Right.
We could list a whole bunch of arrests that.
Right.
Really.
Yeah.
You get a slap on the hand and
well, let's not go too far.
Whatever, but it's still there.
Right. Let's not go too far. You remember when and this has nothing to do with guardianship, but when my car was stolen, and I got a letter from the state attorney's office letting me know that the people that had stolen my car were caught, and they were being they wanted to talk to me about pressing charges and all this other stuff. And when they send you these things, they actually have the people's names on it. Now, of course, when my car was stolen, I really went through a rough time with that. Mm-hmm. And so, of course, naturally, I looked them up, and it's public record. And the person who stole my car had been arrested just weeks earlier for stealing another car. Why were they even out? Like, I don't, this person had a rap sheet of disorderly conduct, grand theft, stealing vehicles. She had just come out of prison. Of jail a couple days before she stole my car. Assault on a pregnant woman. That was another assault on an elderly person. Like, this lady had a rap sheet. Her and her boyfriend. My husband and I we called them Bonnie and Clyde, because these people had they had 3 people apparently were arrested. And in conjunction with the stolen vehicle, and their rap sheets were interesting. And so I get it. If you're trying to be guardian of some random person and you have a rap sheet, I get it. But if you had one issue and you've been an outstanding citizen, let alone an outstanding parent for the last, who knows how long since your child, definitely more than 18 years, because you need guardianship, so your child will be 18. And it's your child. That I think that the system is a little messed up the way that it works. But
I honestly, that's...
I've seen people be denied, and it's very sad when they've been amazing parents.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
All right. So number 8. And the last one today. Let's say.
Yeah.
Because if we find
I'm sure more stuff will come up. I was told
it would be routine checks.
Right. So I was told by the paralegal on my case that the court, or I don't know if it was the paralegal or the attorney herself, but she did say that at any point the court can just have questions and may ask you for stuff in the middle of a year.
Como un drug test at work.
Yeah, like a random,
drug test at work.
You know,
see,
you're gonna pee in the cup today. You know, whatever, and
we're gonna surprise you with a cup.
Yeah.
We're gonna surprise.
You know, I'm surprised they didn't drug test too. Now that I think about it, I mean, I would have passed. It would have been fine, but like, I'm surprised that I had to jump all these hoops to do what I've been doing since, like
they
I said,
check your credit, but they don't check your urine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because I would think if you have a parent that's doing drugs,
that would not be good. Like that would, kind of cloud your judgment and all that stuff. Yeah.
So
I don't know, but
that's
these are all
funny,
like, yeah. I would have definitely subjected to it. Like I would have been fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's weird that they've asked for everything else. I mean,
a little bit of blood, a little bit of urine, un montón de cosas.
Yeah.
No. Coño.
Yeah. I can honestly tell you that this experience, and it's not because of anything that I'm trying to hide or because I just feel that for parents of kids that are as profoundly disabled as mine, and for parents who have been doing the work and putting in the work from the very beginning, I think that the system is really messed up.
Yeah.
I don't think we should have to go through this to be our kid's guardian.
Yeah, it's too elaborate.
To be our kid's guardian once they turn 18, I don't think we should have to go through this. Like, I mean, not just the guardianship itself and the cost and all of that, but jumping all the hoops. I don't feel that. And you know what? The worst part about it is that it's never going to change. Until the only way that I ever see this change and it be a little different for families like ours and like mine, I think is if one of the people that are able to make that change, like a legislator, finds themselves in a position.
In the same position.
Because you know what you know. And because it's not affecting them personally. And then you also have to think.
But that happens with everything. So.
I mean, it does, yeah. But then you also have to think. A lot of people abuse their power and think that they're also beyond.
I'm being.
Like they don't need to. They're above the law. So, listen. There's so much corruption really everywhere, and South Florida is definitely not exempt from that. So I wouldn't even doubt it that if there was some legislator or somebody that was going through this, that they would kind of like not have to go through this process. But I guarantee you that if someone that is able to push the envelope and push to make these requirements different is going through that situation themselves, that's where the law would change. That's where they would loosen things up a little bit. Probably. But until then, it's probably not going to happen. But it is what it is. This is very important.
We're sharing these things, and one thing we haven't checked, so that's a disclaimer kind of thing, is that we don't know if you have to go through all of this.
Oh, yes, right.
Right? With all types of guardianship.
Right. That's a good question for either I can ask my attorney, or even Carlos Aguila might be able to answer that for us.
Because in her case, you did the whole shebang.
Right. So in my case, my guardianship includes all privileges. Because and the way that happens is, which we
because
probably
Carlos said, because you did both the guardianship and
the incapacitation. So because of my particular situation with my child, and he had to be declared incapacitated in order to get the full guardianship, and that is what he needed. So I don't know it's still for guardianship. So I believe that all of this is the same thing.
So partial, you still got to
Yeah,
go.
I believe so. But that would be a question for the attorney, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So yeah, there you have it. 8 things that you may not know about the process of guardianship. Ain't that something?
Yeah. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. Like, not necessarily legal questions, but questions about the process itself that I may have already gone through. Feel free to message us, and I'll be gladly to, if it's something that I personally have gone through, we can share that experience.
Yeah. Yeah. And these are things that make you aware of the things that you may have to do, but also it may raise some questions that if you're in the process, that's something that you right away want to ask, whoever's doing the process, or whatever concerns you may have. Boom, right there. Oh, wait,
Yeah.
So who knows? But at least you have the information. Right. So it's pretty intense.
Yeah,
I feel.
I felt like it's like rigorous. Like, I don't even know. It's weird.
It's super intense.
Oh, another thing. If you start the process, so I don't know if this is only for minors or what it is, but I was told that I needed to send, and I told you about this the other day, that I needed to send over in order to get to start the process of the guardianship prior to 18. Now, you can't file the petition till after 18, but I was told that in order to start the process prior to 18, that I needed to submit a certified copy, so like the original birth certificate, and that I would not get it back.
Oh yes,
that's
something you have to have the original birth certificate.
Right. That's something that was told to me.
If you don't have copies,
try it, and you want to at least. So I don't know. Maybe your attorney doesn't ask you for it, but my attorney gave me a list right before he turned 18. When I was first speaking with her, she gave me a list of everything that we needed to look for stuff, like the the go get the background check. Like, it was like the credit reports, everything that we needed to get done prior to filling out the application so that we can send that in. And that was one of the things that she asked me for. And I don't know if that goes to the court or who that goes to, but I mailed it to her. And luckily I knew I had 2 of them, but that's one thing that you would not get it back.
Well, you may not have 2 copies, original copies. I only have 1. So.
Yeah, I know that but then, like, I was talking to my mom about this the other day, and my mom is a citizen. She's a United States citizen. Not citizen? Resident? Yeah, she's a citizen. She just recently got a passport, and she had to submit her citizenship along with her passport stuff.
Yes, she does.
To get her passport.
Yes.
And they told her that it has to be the original,
but you get
it back. So she got it back within 2 weeks. She got back her citizenship before her passport came in. Like a few days before. I don't know, and I mean, of course, all this is different. This is court, but I don't know. It's been months, and I've never gotten it back, so I don't know.
Yeah, they may want to keep it in record.
I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know.
So it must be. It must be part of that.
Yeah.
So so there you have it again.
Yeah,
guys. And hablando como los locos, como siempre. Yeah. Porque aquí, we're. Angel went out to the party that we talked about.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. And he had a blast.
Yes.
He had a blast.
I saw the pics. It was awesome.
Pictures.
He was doing karaoke. Yes.
karaoke with one of his friends that they know each other from way back.
Right.
And it was fun.
That is
it
so
was fun.
awesome. That is so
Got
awesome.
to meet some of the other moms that I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good time. It was a good time.
Awesome.
And
That's great.
yeah, at some point I had to kind of redirect them.
Yeah.
You know, hey, you know, your friends are over there, or
Yeah,
do
but
you wanna,
this is something
you
really
know,
new for him. So
porque era que they were bowling and karaoke and they was right across from each other.
Yeah.
So estaban algunos por acá y después se metían para allá y después volvían para acá. So
yeah.
You know, but for the first time, he was actually interacting with his friends. And and a couple of times I saw him, you know, talking to one and talking to another. No me iba a meter.
No.
Porque, you know, unless I see something flying.
Right. Yeah. No.
You know, I tried to stand back. We didn't have the structure of it. Didn't have a way to kind of like really step back, and kind of see from afar. So we kind of had to blend in. Right. But I was able to let him be. Me taking pictures all the time.
Yeah.
You know, porque yo soy, you know, fanática de los pictures.
Yeah.
I was around, but I didn't want to.
You weren't being a helicopter mom?
Yeah, I try not to. But
more like a drone.
See. Ay, Dios mío. Ay, Dios mío. At one point, this is a funny shit. All the kids were bowling, and right across is the karaoke room, closed off. Pero tiene vidrio, ¿no? Tiene glass. So there was nowhere to sit. And I said to Manuel, maybe we could sit in there, right? Y we kind of looked. Y estábamos así como penoso, como que we didn't know what to do. Right. Because everybody was out there. And they started going in, setting up. So we were waiting. We were just kind of seeing what was going on. And
where was he at this point, Angel?
No, él estaba ya putting his name. Tú sabes que you have to, you know, put his name. Y hablando con los otros. Y él poniendo los nombres de la gente. So yo dije, bueno, se está desenvolviendo.
Desenvolviendo there, yeah.
You know, whatever. So, finally, we were able to go in. Y entonces el papá de Christian says, oh, you know, we could watch the game. Puso, because there were two screens. One for the karaoke and one for just the TV. So pusieron el game, qué sé yo. Y Manuel se sentó. Y yo me senté con él un ratico y yo dije, bueno, dame darle la vuelta a ver si le saco una foto. Y volví, qué sé yo. Y en eso empieza one of the kids to do karaoke by himself. Maybe one or two other kids went in there, but then went out. Y él empezó out of the top of his lungs. Pero, y cuando yo veo eso, y en eso abrieron la puerta so you could hear, because when it's closed you can't hear.
Right.
Pero hago así, I was outside. I was going in and out, and I was outside, and I looked. Y Manuel está con los ojos así grandes.
Manuel y los ojos de nuevo. Uy, está con pantalón.
Está sentado y hace. Me abrió los ojos primero y hace.
Ustedes ahí trying to blend in.
It was crazy. He was out of the top of his lungs, and yo riéndome. Y Manuel riéndose, pero he was like, oh my God, me metí aquí y, you know.
Oh my God.
Ya finalmente empezaron a venir los otros niños y empezaron a cantar a esto. Él salió de momento que todo el papá del niño y había una mamá se echaron a reír porque él salió like, I gotta get out of here.
Oh my God.
I can't sit there anymore. But it was fun. It was fun.
That's
we had a
awesome.
good time.
That's
we
awesome.
had a good time.
That's so good.
It was a good experience for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now he'll probably be invited to more birthday parties.
Oh. Let's see.
Uh-huh.
Let's see.
That's what's gonna happen now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
driving Mr. Angel.
Yeah. Now you're gonna have to start doing that.
Me toca.
Yeah. That's cool.
If that's hey,
If anything, you can get surgery to do it.
también. Pero I tried. I
Yeah.
tried telling him, you want to go bowling? He was like, no. Pero Juan was like,
He's too cool.
no. I'm like, ay,
Ay, yo.
como lo quiero.
I know.
Como lo quiero.
Me too. Pero,
You know.
I know.
You know.
Anyways.
What about, el email de Justin.
Ah, yes. So, I got an email yesterday from
Wait for it.
last night.
Wait for it.
From Justin's teacher, and she tells me that she didn't realize that she needed like a special permission for this particular field trip. So they go on field trips every week, which is usually it's the CBIs. And it's usually like community outings where they go, like yesterday they went to Target. And usually he does pretty well in those. But she said that this one was a little bit different because they were going to like a local high school. That high school usually visits them when they have events, and they pair him up with a buddy. Mm-hmm. It's a high school for neurotypical children apparently, and then this time they were gonna go visit the high school. So it was like a different permission slip, and she wanted to see if I would sign it, if I would allow him to go. And I said okay. She goes, I mean, we will be there, like some of the staff will be there, and we'll have behavior techs there and everything. And, we will be supervising him at, the entire time. But, we don't take all the kids. We just take the ones that are the best behaved, the ones that we can actually take, to these events. And I'm like, I'm sorry, this is Justin's mom. And then when I'm telling Ide about it, she's telling me, oh my God, have a little faith in the kid. And I said,
know.
No.
She ain't got no faith.
It's not that I don't have no faith. It's just that, can we please transfer these skills to the home, please? Because, I was like, I'm sorry, the what? I mean, really, he is doing a lot better. He has his moments.
No se así.
We're back.
Mala
Do you remember? I don't know if you guys went through this, but we had like at 4 or 5 years old, we had the naked stage, and it.
Angel had that too.
I want to say it was like at 4 or 5, but it's a little disturbing when they're 18. It's quite different then.
Yes.
And so we're struggling with that now. We're having to redirect a lot and send to his room a lot for private time and stuff like that. But yeah, yesterday we also had a successful psychiatry appointment via Zoom with our psychiatrist, who is amazing. And baby steps. You know what he did the other day actually? This was, he says things all the time, but a lot of the things that he says is prompted.
Right.
And he does talk and, a little bit, and he sings, and, he sings since the crib. But the other day, but every so often he'll just come out with something really spontaneous, and very appropriate. So the other day he starts saying remote, and it's because he wants, and he starts pulling for dad to grab the remote and go put something on for him on his TV. So dad is sitting in the recliner as he does every day, like with his feet up, relaxing a little bit. And Justin, he pulls us constantly because he wants something from us. And so he's pulling dad, and I'm cooking, I'm busy, and he came to me and he puts dad and said, go to Papi because I'm cooking. I really couldn't leave the kitchen at the moment. And then he stands in front of his dad and he goes, remote. He starts pulling him. Now that's not the amazing part, because he does all the time. But then he goes to dad, get up. I swear that we both looked at each other.
No way.
And he was like, I'm up. He was like, I'm reinforcing this. He's like, get up.
Nice.
It was
Nice.
Amazing. Like, what part of that I want you to put? What part don't you understand?
Tú no entiendes,
Get your
coño.
ass up.
Coño.
Yeah.
Oh
Isn't that
my God.
amazing? Isn't that amazing?
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah. And yesterday, like, he does things like yesterday, we started playing a song on purpose, a song that he used to love when he was like 5 or 6, and we had never played it. Like, it's been a while since we played it.
Right.
And I couldn't figure out anymore what he wanted, because it's almost like he doesn't know either, like, and nothing, he wasn't satisfied with anything. And I put that song that had been years, and I said to my husband, Tommy, listen. And I put the song, and he takes the little speaker away and leaves to his room and starts singing the song word by word, clearer than I've ever heard him sing before. And we haven't played this song, and it's not a famous song that you hear on the radio all the time. Like, I honestly believe that the last time he heard that song was the last time we played it. It's been a couple years. And he started like,
no.
I almost feel like he's probably like, I've been wanting this for years and you guys haven't played this damn song for me.
Do you not understand that I've been trying to tell you all this time?
He left with the speaker, and it was just so funny. He started singing it word for word, super clear. I was like, no way. And I'm like, how does he does these things where he he has this memory. That's just insane. So yeah, it's...
Yeah, because sometimes when he sings, sometimes it's really clear.
Yeah.
Sometimes
no, this
just
was
like
amazing.
Hits the notes.
Yeah, and you know what song it is because you know what song it is because it's not
go,
because and you know what it is.
Yeah.
But no, this was like really on point. Like there was no doubt that he knew what song that was. It was shocking. It was really, really shocking.
Me just.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Me just.
Yeah, you know.
Well, guys, this is the end of it.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
For today.
Yeah.
Tengo sueño, tengo hambre. You know, all of the above.
All of the above. Yeah.
Thank you for being here. Remember, we're everywhere. But most of all, the reason that we do this is to inform, inspire, and support. We don't want you to feel alone. Mm-hmm. We don't want you to feel like there's not a community out there, because there is. If you're not in this area, many places have different activities or groups that you can attend to. I think more and more now that the kids are getting older, because the numbers are higher. The kids are getting older, so there's more awareness.
Yeah,
I guess.
I think that especially when we started doing this, one thing that I will say is, so I'm on a few Facebook groups for parents of kids with autism and with all sorts of disabilities, and there's only one from all of those that I can really, really resonate with and I really relate to. But when we started this, I think we wanted this to be different, because I'm sure you, and I know we've talked about this, that when Angel was diagnosed, the first thing they told you was to join a support group. I have never been able to do that when Justin was younger, because I couldn't find any group that I resonated with. And that is, I think, the difference between like all those groups and us, is that our kids really are so different that our stories aren't the same.
But we still understand.
Right. And so I think that would
know
make
where they're both coming from.
Yeah,
you know.
So I think that would make I didn't want to do this with someone who had another kiddo like mine. I thought that it was not that I didn't want to. I mean, you're my people, but I just think that that's what sets us apart, and I think what makes it more interesting to families like you and like mine, like yours and like mine.
Yeah, it's two different experiences. So
yeah, we're the shit. What can I tell you?
Hey, we got it like that. Yeah. So this is it.
Yeah. This is it. Now for real. We're like, when Cubans are like leaving the house and like
Yeah.
the love.
Que me voy.
Me voy.
Que no sé qué.
Okay.
Ah, bueno, un beso.
Sí, un beso.
No sé qué.
Like, how
Ah,
many-
sí, ¿verdad? Que no sé qué.
Like,
no
how
sé
many
cuánto.
times do you say goodbye?
Ah, no, que me voy pero ahora sí me voy.
Yeah.
Bueno, pues ahora sí nos vamos.
When I go to my friend's house, the parents of Chloe's bestie, that's exactly how it is. When I go like pick her up or I go drop her off, usually it's pick her up. It always happens.
30 vueltas.
Yes.
30 vueltas.
Yes, pretty much.
That happens.
Yeah. That and or also if we're like at the family's house or whatever.
Yeah. You could catch us Instagram, Facebook, Spotify.
La madre de los tomates.
La madre de los tomates por ahí para abajo.
Pretty much most of the streaming platforms. Type it in. We're most likely there.
Yeah.
And we're on YouTube. Like these videos are seen on YouTube.
Right.
And then in podcast form across the platforms and social media.
That's it. Thank you for being here, guys. And we'll see you next week, Friday. Every Friday.
Every Friday.
New episode.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.